you listen to our CDs, we sound pretty serious, and I mean, being that the lyrics are very like heartfelt and everything, you know, I think it's a fair judgment. But at the same time, I mean, there's a big part of this band that nobody ever gets to read about.
You know, we are like a brutal metal band, or at least we try to be, you know, but definitely not the personalities of some people. I mean, it's one part of them, like, you know, part of us. Like, we love metal and we love playing and stuff, but people might be surprised at the tastes or likes or interests or just little quirks about each of the members of this band.
Nick's kind of like a dad. Goes to bed early.
He's usually the first one to wake.
Doesn't really tell anybody and just disappears and travels on his own.
We won't see him for hours. He'll come back and it's always the same story.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I saw the sweetest thing.
Today I walked 6.8 miles in San Francisco, and I found this sweet foot massage place.
Nick's more adventurous for like the experience and like to see sweet stuff. I'm adventurous just to find coffee. Got my coffee? Wake myself up a little bit.
Phil is usually, along with me, one of the last 2 or 3 people to wake up.
I woke up at 3.
I didn't wake up till 4:30 today. That's mainly where I've been.
I know I've slept in way too late if Tim is up before me.
Morning or afternoon or evening, whichever it is.
We're like spying on each other from our bunks, waiting for the other person to move so we'll know when we should get up.
I didn't know there were mirrors inside the bunk area.
Check out how sweet my bunk is. Everything's Velcroed up here. So my sweet iPod is up here. My glasses, a Sharpie, because I'm working on my memoirs. Plug my phone in. I got the wire running up through the top. Just roll over. What time is it? Oh, it's 8:33. Look at that. That's pro right there.
Velcro's my idea.
Actually, NASA.
Nick just did that
For
today.
the record, NASA invented Velcro, not Phil. They did.
I'm not saying that.
For the space program, that NASA invented Velcro.
You're taking a tour of the bunk? I generally admire Hayden Panettiere off the show Heroes, and Matt, our tech, knew that, so he, you know, decided to hook me up and just give me a few pictures to keep me company while I'm in here.
Phil is a pack rat. Phil probably has.
You'll probably find like a movie, look at three pillows, okay?
Yeah.
2 there, 1 at the feet.
I don't understand how Phil sleeps in here though.
Look at all of his cords.
My bunk's pretty standard. You've got your blanket, little nothing. I bought this at the grocery store last night for cleaning your teeth. I ate popcorn the other day and I had this thing stuck in my tooth for like 3 hours.
This is about as unorganized as my bunk gets during the day. So I'm taking a shower.
Yeah.
That's why. So I gotta do a shower thing and then I clean all this stuff up.
Jordan loves to be clean.
Jordan will shower like twice a day.
We got a shower on our bus this time. Yeah, changed my life.
Nick's like an everyday dude.
You see that little bar up there? So you can shower while you're moving. But yeah, I wouldn't advise it because I actually showered while we were moving once and it was terrifying.
Josh is probably like an every other day dude.
Taking a shower,
5 minutes.
baby wipe.
It feels like every 3 days.
I'm not taking a shower.
Oh, you're not? Well, you need to then.
Tim doesn't really shower that much, which is kind of surprising, and because he looks like a clean dude, but he's not.
I successfully have done the Warped Tour only showering 4 times.
I know how sweaty he gets every show, and then I'll see him go in his bunk and come out knowing he hasn't showered in 3 days, and it's kind of disgusting.
You look pretty good for going 5 days though.
But I'll walk by him and it doesn't smell bad.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Can that thing pick up smells at all? Smell it.
That could easily make somebody throw up.
Tim probably goes the longest without washing his clothes, so his probably stink for the longest period of time. But Josh's are really bad.
It's my shoulder that smells bad because the strap has been passed down to me from previous members.
Josh usually has the most amount of things laying around the bus.
Josh leaves his crap everywhere.
And I find like a pair of socks or like old shirts or truck stop items. And I was just like, whose crap is all of this?
I'd constantly be throwing stuff of his in his bunk.
Jordan and I are the cleaner ones in the band as far as maintaining a tight ship.
And Jordan would just like go in my bunk and start squirting me with Febreze and stuff.
It's like once it hits him, like the cleaning bug hits him, he's got to clean.
You know when he's in the zone because you'll just be up and you'll see the paper towels out and then like the cleaner and he'll just be going back and forth and have that like look in his eye. Well, I gotta vacuum that up. Here's what separates the men from the boys. Vacuum in your press. Ow! You almost hit my bruise.
He wasn't necessarily like as clean as Jordan, but like he wouldn't let you touch his like your mouth to anything he was drinking, anything like that.
Nick is one of the biggest germaphobes.
Dude. If you don't know Nick, most of the time it's like, dude, Nux. Because he doesn't want to get your germs on his hands.
What's up, dude?
Same page?
Yeah.
This is what Nick does. Nick always goes like this to get
Because I don't want to
hair
touch
out.
my face, because that's how you get sick.
You look like a freaking alien critter.
Sorry you guys getting into my style.
Nick, I could go on and on about that guy.
Nick is the nicest man I've ever met in my life.
He's like the sweetest dude in the entire world. I love Nick.
Has a freaking happy button like that. He's just pressing all the time. He's just constantly happy.
Nick is Kirk Hammett. He reminds me so much of Kirk. Just, you know, both from Hawaii, great guitar players, easygoing, everything's really cool, nothing's ever a problem.
Maybe it's just in the water in Hawaii, or I don't know what it is, but he is just unfazable.
You need a hug, you need some comfort. I would say Nick's a hug-a-bug bear.
All of us that knew Nick were convinced that he could never get pissed at anything or anyone, right?
Everyone's like, that's the nicest guy ever. He's not that nice, though.
Right here. Love. Right here. Thanks, man.
Little did I know there was a little deep, dark inner child that would come out of Nick.
I didn't flinch. Yeah, dude, definitely, man.
The Nick you first get introduced to does change. Like, he becomes a little bit more serious at times, you know, and some people would think that means he's cranky or in a bad mood. But I've realized that he doesn't take for granted the friends that he has in the bus, because he sees us all the time, but he knows that we've already gone through the, hey, how you doing stage, and now it's time to get into to what really matters in life.
Having conversations with Nick where like I want to jog my mind, you know, it's not just like an entertaining conversation, but a thought-provoking conversation.
Nick's very good at mediating things, certain situations. He's very good with his words and how he says things.
If I had $1 for every time he said sweet or something was sweet, I could retire.
Okay, sweet. That's sweet. Okay, sweet. All right, sweet. It's so sweet. Was it sweet? Sweetness. Sweet, dude. This is so sweet, dude. No matter where you are in the world, people know what that means. That means, hey, man, I'm cool with you. Maybe we can have a section called 5 Minutes of Peace, and it would just be Nick doing peace signs, like quick edits of like 5,000 times of Nick going like this. Yeah. And people imitating Nick.
Aw, dude. Oh, man.
What's up, man?
Hey, man.
How you doing?
How's it going, dude?
What's up, dude?
Hey, dude.
You guys peacing out?
Aw, man. Man. Crazy.
Keeping it brutal.
Keep it brutal.
You got some work to do.
He tries to be like this brutal guy.
I probably will up the scans in the DVD if there's a lot of shirtless Nick shots, but my mom might see it, so I'm gonna keep it PG.
It's turning into Slash.
Are you filming? Because if you are, I'm gonna flex my abs a little bit. Yeah. Everyone knows I'm kind of the sex appeal of the band. Are you getting sufficient footage of me with my shirt off, not flexing?
This is how I maintain my physique, but I'm usually running through here, full sprints.
He just recently got into hiking.
I'm currently training for a Ninja Warrior. Have you heard of it? Getting tired. When I'm at home, I normally, when I go out to spend my time doing something, I usually like being in communion with Mother Earth.
Aside from the bugs that just suck my blood and gnaw on my flesh.
All these creatures are flying at me. Did that bee come back? It is. What is it? Oh, it just hit me in the face. There's a freaking bee. What's that thing's deal? Just nature, flocking, joining me in fellowship.
Nick is a hippie, and he'll admit it.
It smells so good. Just kidding, it doesn't smell at all. And I believe in love and peace. Does that make me a horrible person? Or a person that should be made fun of?
He's all about like cleansing his spirit or something.
I feel like I just have an affinity for the ocean.
He loves to surf. He and Matt JR are.
When we are home for a solid week, I'll go maybe 4 times a week.
Well, we were surfing a lot more before the weather got so cold, and then there was that big shark attack that happened like last spring, so no one's really been in the water as much.
Some guy got his legs bitten off like 5 miles down the beach.
I feel like started to get into surfing last year, about like the time that I started to take it seriously.
After that shark attack, he's quit surfing, he said, but that's silly. That's just how Phil is, though. So should I use that to transition into Phil?
When you're on tour, you're just around 9 other people like every day, and you're living in such a small, confined area. Then when you come to the beach, you just look out and there's nothing. You know, you don't feel like claustrophobic about anything.
Back it up. Back it up. Come on.
Phil is the silent assassin. Early on in dealing with him, just really shy. Didn't really like doing interviews, but was always really interested in what was happening behind the scenes.
He wants to make sure everything's working and it's going the right way, and as long as everything's cool, he just kind of relaxes.
It's been interesting to kind of watch him grow up, essentially, in the band.
When we first got involved with him, I mean, he was basically like, I think 19 years old, and every time I would see him, I'd think like, what was I doing when I was 19 years old? Could I possibly be in this situation? How would I handle it? And I mean, there's no way.
Now he's almost like this kind of seasoned veteran who's experienced and really kind of focused.
Phil probably has the most consistent personality of anybody in the band, I think.
He knows what he wants, he knows how he wants to come across, and he makes it clear.
I'm not shaving the rest of the tour, and then once we're done, I'm just having a mustache the whole time we're off.
Look at me.
Ooh, his face is gonna sting.
He's like a really caring dude.
He's more introverted, probably, out of all of them.
I can easily get offended by something.
I just don't think it's funny.
It's interesting that there is this side to him where he would definitely open up.
I get nervous just in general.
More sensitive side.
Whatever. I'm a man, I don't cry.
Phil definitely has a more of the serious personality on the average, although he does have his goofier moments.
Yeah, there's nothing. I ate the last piece of pepperoni.
Would you say that there's
Not a thing left. Phil is always cracking one-liners on everyone.
Well, we just closed the door on that one.
He's always pulling pranks on people. He's like the mischievous child of the band, tripping people and stuff. Actually, I don't know if he actually trips anyone.
Phil definitely dishes a lot and receives a lot.
Destructo Phil, he just likes to destroy things.
But not destructive in a mean way, if that's possible. He's destructive in a fun, lighthearted kind of way.
He just starts throwing things or just wants to destroy things. It's pretty funny.
Phil knows everything, literally everything, about any movie person ever.
It's almost like this trading baseball cards thing where he's got to know like the stats on each movie.
He's got Robert Duvall. Anything with Robert Duvall is pretty awesome.
It's kind of fun to watch movies with Phil, but at the same time, because he's like a movie connoisseur, he's kind of pretentious about it. Like, he doesn't like a lot of movies.
He's also an avid watcher of Lost.
Phil, dude's here. We need to go now.
Phil is always late, always.
We're all waiting for Phil, as usual.
I really try not to be late everywhere,
Where'd they go?
but it just happens.
Where's Phil at? I haven't seen Phil all day.
Where's Phil?
Like, you know, Nick's ready to go, Josh is already ready to go. They've been asking for stage right guitar, so I've like line checked it, and then he comes up and he's like, "Is ready to check this? Like, should we go now?" And I was like, "Well, it's already done." He's like, "Well, I want to check it, you know, so we'll redo it again."
We got 5 minutes to go on. 5 minutes.
Phil's great because we always get to talk music together, text each other about different bands, and me being 1 or 2 years older than them, it's always fun to turn them on to stuff. So I've been both Nick and Phil have been turning them on to tons of I've made them like Rainbow compilations, UFO, and because he feels like, hey, I heard this band UFO, this Michael Schenker guy's really good. I'll send you a bunch of stuff.
Frank Gambale. It's nice.
He loves to spend time on GarageBand working on riffs for his side band Sabretooth.
I still consider playing music my hobby, just writing stuff or learning someone else's songs.
Me and Phil, obviously spend a lot of time with each other when we're on the road, and we have all these musical ideas flowing through our heads, and so we came up with a song called Any Other Way.
Pleasure. I would not want it any other way. Kevin said he did not want it any other way.
And we were like, we should totally start a band. We're too good at writing these songs.
I would not want it any other way.
It's like Guns N' Roses good. That November Rain song? That's what I picture this being, like the next one,
We were thinking of names like tailpipe, lug nut. Nothing's really like clicking. So we're chilling in the bunk area and we look over at our junk bunk and it's like full of, you know, people's dirty show clothes, like stuff they've bought on tour, just like a mess. And we were like, it's a perfect metaphor for the type of band that we are. So Junk Bunk is me and Phil's grungy alternative side project, and you'll probably see a lot coming from that in 2009, so be on the lookout. On the dark highway of the night, all I want to do is make things right. I should have never made you cry, and for this, I'll dedicate my life.
Scott Staff and Josh Gilbert, dude. They're the same people.
I never wanted.
He can do an amazing Creed impersonation.
And I never cared before.
Song With Arms Wide Open in the middle of this bar, and dude, he had everybody in the whole entire place like singing it.
Doesn't necessarily mean you like the songs, but there's just some songs that you know your voice is just gonna soar on, and you gotta sing those songs.
My life, it freaking sucks. I wanna end it after I do my homework.
You guys like that?
That's like so sweet, man. I could definitely picture that on the radio.
I'm trying to think if I do anything else besides playing music.
Josh does nothing. He just kind of sits there. It's like, what are you doing?
What do I do?
He'll lurk on the internet. Tim's on the internet for like business purposes. Josh is on there just to like lurk on the internet.
I guess I kind of enjoy just looking up the most insane things I can think of online, but other than that, no like consistent hobby. I watched a special about giant squids. They like stuck a camera down in the ocean and put bait on it, and this giant squid like attacked it, and it's the first time they ever caught it on film. It's pretty important.
Josh is Southern. He's from Alabama.
I was pretty much born and raised for the first like 19 years of my life in Birmingham, Alabama, which, you know, a lot of people would just assume just from like movies like Forrest Gump and Joe Dirt that people probably, you know, don't wear shoes and don't have cable.
He always talks about going off-roading with his friend Bobby at this place called The Cut. It's really weird.
What can I say? Nothing.
Everyone needs to meet Josh Gilbert.
Hey, are you guys going to the show?
Which ones?
The Asley Dying Show?
Yeah, I'm prepared, man.
Sweet. Glad you guys are coming. See you in the mosh pit.
Maybe.
He's just like the nicest guy. And it might be partly because he has like a slight little bit like Birmingham accent, like Southern accent, that like just makes him that much nicer.
We always make fun of his accent.
Talking all Bama-like.
Walking around through San Francisco right now. First time in the city. So where's the Full House set? They live in San Francisco, right? Where's the crooked street? Excuse me, do you know where the world's most crooked street is?
Josh could be friends with a tree.
I don't think anyone could ever get mad at him.
Oh, Josh.
He's got the best intentions of any dude I know.
What crazy things could I do?
Just makes jokes all the time.
Seriously, I haven't said anything cool yet. I've been trying to think of cool things to say.
He's never really like super bummed about a lot of things.
No matter what's going on, like, yeah, he could be stressed out, but he's just kind of like, whatever, you know.
What a stressful day.
I wish we could do a tour where we do.
He's kind of, I don't know.
I'm just naturally a pretty laid-back person. I don't even care. See, put that on the DVD. I'm probably a little too laid back sometimes.
He's sometimes just not prepared for things.
It will not stay up. It won't stay up. Give them what they want, right?
He's gotten a little bit better at it, but still, somehow something always goes wrong.
He'll take out his in-ears and set them on a cabinet, walk away, and the cabinet rolls away onto a semi-truck. Gone.
Phone and money is all I need. I lost my wallet in Atlanta.
Josh lives in his own little world.
You should watch out for this phenomenon that my hair actually does called the George Washington. It's like, once I get into the music, as I get sweatier and sweatier, the hair on top stays flat. The hair on the sides flies out as George Washington's hair.
Josh is like the biggest patriot I know.
1776, my favorite year.
He loves America.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
USA! USA! USA!
Give me liberty or give me death.
USA!
We the people.
USA! USA! USA!
That's, I mean, the most patriotic thing anybody could ever do.
USA!
I do appreciate, since Josh has been in the band, the dynamic he's brought to everybody. And he's kind of like the middleman between a lot of these personalities.
There's just so many ways that as a group we counter each other's personalities.
We find each other's quirks, and it's almost sometimes fun to make light of that because then it makes people not take themselves so seriously.
Who the hell farted? Jordan's farts are the worst.
Jordan was like good at it, you know, it was like a technique.
Jordans just are super loud. You gotta watch out for him because he'll sneak up to your bunk.
Oh, that smells so bad.
Whoa, no, you got some on you.
I put up a pretty good fight though.
I can honestly like tell certain people's farts. It's kind of gross. It's a Jordan or Day-Day. It's a drum crew fart.
Tim's worse. I'm pretty sure he is.
I didn't want to rat him out, but Tim is pretty bad too.
You wouldn't see anything, you'd just be like, Tim! Like, oh, and it would just be so torturous and you'd just be like laughing.
Farting with a cape on is always funny.
Tim is awful. I mean, awful.
Toxic fumes would come out of him.
It's the man stench.
Oh!
The thing I love about Jordan is his laugh. He has the best laugh. He has one of those laughs that makes you want to laugh.
Jordan has sometimes been described as having the most quirky personality of the members of the band. Not quirky in a bad way, but quirky in like, he might do things a little bit out of the ordinary that are kind of fun. Just his daily routines in general, he has like, you know, so many things that he does. I mean, just from the mannerisms he has when he first wakes up in the morning to the way he has this warm-up routine before he plays.
Jordan, the routine man.
Very serious about what he does and how he does it. Everything about it, his playing is very meticulous.
To the very inch probably measures the way his drums are set up, makes sure, you know, they're sounding perfect, makes sure that they're clean, you know, just in perfect operational order at all times.
He's very diligent in what he does.
He's always been so focused on one thing, you know, that he would get so into one thing and that was it. Everything else just went by the wayside, even when he was younger.
This is ridiculous. Who produced this? That's crazy.
Dude. It produces itself. It's a self-producing mustache.
Yeah.
How's it look? Does it look even? Pretty even? It's decent, right? Instead of the signing, I just sit there and hear, oh, your mustache is so cool. Such a good drum. Oh, your mustache rules.
Before he came out, we saw him behind the curtain and we started screaming, handlebars, handlebars, handlebars. We love his mustache, dude. It's crazy. It's awesome. If Jordan ever shaves, I'm going.
He cannot shave the chops.
And Phil can't cut his hair.
It's a new law. It actually just passed.
Maybe I'm just a little bitter because I can't grow a stash. I can't grow any facial hair. I mean, I can, but it doesn't look good. I tried really hard once.
It's Yosemite Sam for real.
Thing's thick, hearty. It's like a can of chunky.
Actually won a mustache contest. It's called the Mustachio Bashio.
I got this for no reason other than having this. How great is that?
Jordan is obsessed with Disney.
I love Disney with all my heart.
Welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Express Monorail.
He loves to go to Disney World and talk about going to Disney World.
It smells like Space Mountain. It does. It totally smells like Space Mountain here. Come on, guys. Get excited for Disney. Come on, dude. You guys pumped? You Splash Mountain, first thing we're doing.
He always joked around about getting a tattoo, having his whole back be like the map of Disneyland.
He had a snare drum as a Mickey Mouse cutout.
And he had a CD that was the songs that they play while you're on the rides at Disneyland.
Jordan would just sing non-stop Disney songs.
We get in the van and he's bumping like Aladdin.
I wanted it to stop, but it just brought him so much joy that, I mean, no one wanted him to miss out on that.
Jordan's that guy that is always grounded, just a warm, deep, thoughtful person. And, you gotta love Jordan for that.
If he's feeling down, like, you would never know, because he's, like, very good at not letting, like, negative emotions, like, pass on to other people.
I think he has a complicated mind, but at the same time, he's just mellow. He's a chill dude.
I like golfing. I don't get to play as much as I'd like to. Golf is a very relaxing sport. Oh! You may think I'm pro, but I'm not. That's not good. That was good. All that practice paid off. Recently, I went back to school about 6 months ago.
I was really pleasantly surprised to see him go back to the internet and take courses and get his degree.
I've gotten all A's in my classes so far, so gonna keep it going.
When I went to college before, about 5-6 years ago, I used to get terrible grades, terrible. Like C's and, actually I got 1A. It was an introduction to music. That's the only A I got.
Tim is also going back to school as well, so we're the geeks on the bus.
It's one of the best ways to keep me accountable and interested in philosophy and religion. It's something I always want to learn more about, but I don't have the discipline to do that, you know? So having these school deadlines is forcing me to learn about things that I want to learn about in the first place, and actually do a pretty darn good job. I've gotten all A's so far.
Tim is an unbelievably smart guy.
Where am I? Who am I? Where am I going? This way?
Tim is probably the most insanely busy one of all of us.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Hey, Kevin.
He's always doing a million things at one time.
What you doing, Tim?
Take care of business.
Lamb Business is a nickname a lot of people give him. Always on the phone or always on his computer working on some sort of project.
He's got a record label. Evergreen Terrace was the first signing to his record label.
He's managing bands and starting bands and, you know, in a band.
His dad, you know, has like a business mind and is kind of about the bottom line, so I think Tim inherited that.
My parents' story is very inspirational to me because when we first moved to California, my parents literally had next to nothing in their bank account, and we lived in a hotel until we could find a permanent residence. And you know, eventually they went from this kind of nothingness to building, you know, an advertising agency that, you know, that has done very, very well.
In high school, he would say, "Oh, you guys are crazy. You just work way too hard," and you know, and it's funny because I think that's what really gave him his work ethic.
Tim always wants to think long term and just make sure that decisions that are made are the right ones.
I'm pretty sure he never stops thinking. The wheels are always turning.
Tim never leaves the bus.
He loves the bus, man. Loves hanging out by himself.
If we're like all hanging out and like on an off day or something like that, let's go do something, Tim doesn't usually go. When Megan's out, he'll go usually.
Yeah, I guess he has different modes, you know, like there's some days you can tell where he's like super serious and like, let's get it done. And then there's Tim just having fun.
He's one of the only guys in the whole touring party that will stay up along with me till like 5 a.m. and watch movies like Operation Dumbo Drop and like Three Ninjas or whatever we end up watching.
You know what this reminds me of? His Hammer Pants.
Random funny stuff would just like come out of his mouth like out of nowhere.
Would you rather have your nose chopped off and then fed to you like you had to eat it? You know it's cartilage, so it's real chewy. Or would you rather have somebody shave off all of your hair and then insert it into your anus and pump it out your mouth?
What does Tim do? He doesn't really like surf. He doesn't really, I mean, the producing and recording bands I think is definitely a hobby of his because he chose to, you know, open the studio, so that's a pretty big one.
I do so many things on a regular basis that it's almost like I don't feel like I have time for hobbies. You know, when I'm not on tour and we're not recording an album, I like working on Austrian Death Machine, which I guess would be a hobby in a way. With As I Lay Dying being so very heartfelt and expression of just very difficult times in my life and things that I've gone through, it has a much deeper subject matter, and there's a whole side of me that just wants to be a nerd and hang out and tell stupid jokes, and that's the whole outlet that I get through Austrian Death Machine.
Now listen up, everyone. This next one's called
For anybody who doesn't know, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger themed metal music. It's definitely more on the thrashy side, and Chad Ackerman, who used to play in As I Lay Dying, does all the Arnold impersonations.
All right, you little girly man. Me and him were driving down one day to Soma to watch some random show, and I kept doing Arnold impersonations, and he was laughing so hard. I remember he was drooling. I thought we were gonna crash because we were both just laughing so hard. And he's like, dude, what if there was a metal band with just Arnold singing?
Hellbent for leather!
And I just thought it was a joke, you know, it sounds sweet, whatever. And then 2 years later, like, you know, we have an album out.
Him and I had more fun recording that album than we've ever had recording an album that we've done in any of our bands together, just because half the time we're rolling on the ground laughing, you know, instead of actually recording.
Who the hell was that?
Yeah. All these types of things are things that I don't really view them as hobbies so much as part of my just day-to-day life.
I'll come home from work and he's still in bed, you know, on his computer. He hasn't left the same spot since that morning.
You're only home a few months a year. And when I'm home, the last thing I want to do is leave my house and drive a lot, because that's what we do all the time. We've been on tour so long, this is not a joke at all, my own dog does not remember me. If you go on tour, just realize these are the things that will happen. Your own family forgets about you. The reason I have to drive this golf cart around every once in a while, it's my dad's golf cart, but Buster basically won't move. He just sits underneath the palm tree all day unless this golf cart moves, and all of a sudden he gets active. So I just want to keep his heart healthy. You know, I think he's probably going to die if I don't do this for him every day.
Tim never leaves the house. I mean, we'll go over to a friend's house and to dinner every once in a while, but other than that, we never leave the house.
So we're at my friend Jason's house. We meet here once a week to have dinner, and while we have dinner, we meet with other families in the community, and we just talk about what's relevant and important for us to be involved in. I think it's quite different than the typical church meeting where you just sit down and listen to a sermon. We actually sit down and have a discussion together, and I think it's a bit more productive, but I think both models can work for different people.
He's a pretty much a piece of granite, character-wise and integrity-wise. He's formed.
Tim will, really stand by the things that he believes in, and just in every way that his life takes form.
I learned a lot about understanding what it is you believe by just talking with Tim.
He's really remarkable. He's really unlike anyone that we work with, and I have to give Tim a lot of credit for all the things that he's been able to accomplish, at a young age at this point in his life. And we're definitely lucky to work with him.
That's the one thing about all these guys is it's hard to find 5 really talented musicians that can be this humble and down to earth. And I can't say what a phenomenal pleasure it is to really work with these guys.
Catch you guys on the flip side.
Good night.
Yeah, and I wish you guys could come in, but this is a private area. This is my area. So, and yeah. So see you guys later.